Words appear. Learning Together with Zoe Fiogkos and Victor Gouveia announcing. On Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner. The Blind Perspective Network. Brought to you by VIP Tech and Greek Auto Services. Welcome everyone to Learning Together here on Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner. Brought to you by VIP Tech. I am your announcer, Victor Gouveia. Remember, if you like what you're about to hear, activate the like button and share it with your friends and families, especially if you think they can benefit from anything we say here. And subscribe to both Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner, making sure to activate the notification bell so you know when we go live or upload a new video. Additionally, we do stream on our Facebook page, Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And on Twitter, at Blind Whos. If you can't catch us live, catch us on podcasts. Whether you have an Apple device, a Google device, a Windows device, or even the Humanware line of players, go to the podcast section or any podcast app you like, do a search for Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And that'll get you to our podcast, which you can subscribe to. Additionally, you can also ask Alexa to play Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And she'll go out and find you all the episodes that we currently have available. All hands-free. If you want a copy of the audio or video for this recording, or any recording we do here on the network, send us an email, whoseblindlifeisanyway@gmail.com, or Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner @gmail.com, and we'll send you out a link to the folder on Dropbox where you can download all the episodes of everything we broadcast on the two stations. On this last episode of the season, Zoe wraps up her coverage of the Voiceover utility where the user can set up Voiceover to their specification. Zoe's shows will be going on a holiday for about 3 weeks. That means Zoe's Tips, Tricks, and How-Tos, Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner, and Learning Together will be off for approximately 3 weeks. So we'll see you back then. In the meantime, here is part 4 of the Voiceover utility. Here's your hostess, Zoe Fiogkos.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Learning Together. And this week, we are going to continue the Voiceover utility. So this is part 4. Before we get started, as always, I just want to remind you that Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner @gmail.com is where you can reach me. And you can ask questions, you can ask for clarifications, you can request something. For example, Zoe, I would like to know how to do this particular thing on the Mac. However, of course, I'm going in order, and maybe what you're asking for I may cover in a future episode, but that's okay. Send it to me anyway, and that way I can address your questions. I can address your, maybe I'll tell you that, hey, Alex, thanks for asking about the Notes app. I will tell you that on a future episode, we're going to address the Notes app or whatever. But if it's also an emergency, you just want to know how to do something specifically, I don't have a problem. Yeah, so anyhow, of course, you can comment in the sections, the section below, like the comment section, if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're watching it on Facebook through Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway, you could always comment, in the Facebook comments. What else? You can email Victor at whoseblindlifeisanyway@gmail.com, and he will definitely pass the message on to me. I think that's all I'm going to tell you today. I think we should just get started right away, because some of these categories in the utility voiceover can become pretty, pretty complex or long, or whatever. So anyways, enough with the hubbub, enough with the talking, even though you guys know I love to talk. Let's let's get started before we have some problems. So I'm going to, as always, I'm going to remove my headset for now, and I'm sharing my screen, and right off the bat I'm going to open up Voiceover Utility. And if you forgot, I'm going to remind you again, it's command, whoops. Give me a second, guys. That's weird. Hold on.
Finder, desktop, saved emails, folder. You are
Okay.
currently on a folder. Command, command,
What's going on? Hold on.
option, Macintosh HD, volume. You are currently at no notifications available.
Okay, so something is blocking me from opening up Voiceover Utility.
Command,
Sorry. You know what's blocking me? So see, I love it when things happen live. So I guess so we said to turn VoiceOver on and off, it's Command F5. And in my enthusiasm to start this part of the VoiceOver Utility, I went to open up the VoiceOver Utility, and without thinking, I was pressing Command F8. That's not the key command to open up VoiceOver Utility. It's Vo F8.
option, control, opening voiceover utility.
So this is
Voiceover
how.
utility, voiceover utility, window, utility categories, table, general, selected has keyboard focus. You are currently on a table. To enter this table, press Control, Option, Shift, down arrow.
Okay, so as always, I opened up VoiceOver Utility. I waited until she said that we're in the or that we're on. We're never in without interacting. We're on the VoiceOver categories, VoiceOver Utility category table. By default, the first category is selected, which is general. And of course, she gives you the hints about how to interact and how to stop interacting. Now, I just want to go back to the fact that I got confused with the command. That can happen to anybody. It took a few seconds for for the wheels in my head to start turning to say, oh, shoot, you were pressing the wrong key command. But let's say your mind was really, really stuck and you couldn't remember it. What would you do? Well, you could do a few things. You could, one, go back on the Learning Together episodes and find the episode where I show how to turn VoiceOver on and off. You could Google it. You could press VoK for keyboard help and start pressing a whole bunch of keys until you figure it out. Or you can take a deep breath, hold it, exhale, relax, let your mind work, and of course, it'll come back to a forgetful mind like Zoe's. I'm going to turn up the volume a little bit, even though it's nerve-wracking for me, but I need you guys to hear what's going on. So,
Option, Control.
All right. I'm going to interact with the table of categories.
In utility categories, table, general, selected, general, row 1. Verbal. You are currently on a cell.
I'm going to arrow down
Control.
until we get to the category that we need to go to.
Speech, navigation, red. You are sound. You are currently on a cell inside of a table. To navigate the cells within this table, press Control, Option, and then up arrow, down arrow, left arrow, or right arrow. To exit this table, press Control, Option, Shift, up arrow.
So the last category we dealt with was web. So now we're going to the sound category. So as soon as I arrowed down and I heard sound, I'm going to stop interacting.
Out of utility categories, table.
And I'm going to Vo arrow right.
Option, Control, mute sound effects, uncheck, checkbox. You are currently on a checkbox. To select or deselect.
So if you pay attention, pardon me, to when I'm navigating the Mac on all the Learning Together episodes, you can hear clicking sounds, you can hear dings and bongs, you can hear basically sound effects. So this is what this is asking us. Do you want to hear these sound effects? Believe me, there are people like me who need the sound effects. I've learned these effects and it helps my brain, so to speak, to compute, to process what I'm hearing, what I'm doing. I like my sound effects. There are people out there who despise them. They just want to hear what VoiceOver has to say. They don't want to hear click, click, or bing, or dong, or boom, or whatever the case is. I do, so I have this checked. So that's the explanation for this. It's up to you. We're going to Vo arrow right.
Control Option. Enable audio ducking. Check. Checkbox. You are currently.
Enable audio ducking. Checkbox checked. So my checkbox is checked. Again, this is a preference thing. If you're coming from an iPhone, by now you should know what audio ducking is because it's been around for a while. But if you're not coming from an iPhone, or you just never paid attention, you never thought you had a purpose for audio ducking and never bothered to inquire what it is, I'm just about to tell you. So if you have audio ducking checked, it's what that means is, let's say you're listening to music and I don't know, you're sitting in a chair, you've got your Mac playing your music, and you're sitting in a chair and you're knitting, or you're making bracelets like Zoe, and you've got your music going, and a notification comes in on your Mac. For example, I don't know, you need to update something, or somebody's sending you a message, or something to that effect. What'll happen is when VoiceOver speaks your notification, the level of the music will be lowered and VoiceOver will speak louder. So depending on what's going on, you can either have this off, so VoiceOver never lowers its volume or increases its volume according to what you're doing on the Mac, or you can have it checked. I have it checked because I want to hear VoiceOver. If I'm in a situation where I have guests over and I have music playing on my Mac and I don't want to hear VoiceOver, I'm not going to go into the VoiceOver utility and uncheck this. Okay, I'm just going to mute VoiceOver altogether because I don't want anybody hearing my personal messages or whatever the case may be, VoiceOver. I don't want anybody hearing it, so I'm just going to mute VoiceOver. So for me, there's no purpose in unchecking this. Again, this is a preference thing. Let's go Vo arrow right.
Option, Control, enable positional audio, check, checkbox. You are currently on a checkbox. To output device. You are currently on a text element. System default. Output device. Pop-up button. Output device. Enable positional audio. Checkbox. You are currently.
I think
Control.
that's pretty self-explanatory. Enable positional audio. Checkbox checked. You should have it checked. And then it starts talking to you about, listen.
Option. Output device. You are currently on.
Output device.
Control.
Okay, so where is the sound coming out of?
Option. System default. Output device. Pop-up button.
System default. Obviously, you're on your Mac, you want system default. But at some point, maybe you're not happy with the volume on your Mac or the sound on your Mac. You want to connect speakers. Or maybe you want to get a little more advanced and you want voiceover coming out of your iMac, or Mac Pro or MacBook or whatever the case is, but you want your music coming out of speakers. Those are more advanced settings that maybe at some point we'll deal with. I'm just going to click this pop-up button.
Option. Control. Menu check mark. System default. You are currently on a menu item. To choose this menu item, built-in output. You are currently at check mark. System default.
Okay, so
You are currently on a menu.
There's two options here. System default.
Control option. Built-in output.
And built-in output. Okay, so have it check the system default at this point. Remember, we're still learning. We're not going to get into really advanced things, at least not at this point. Okay, so I'm going to escape out of this menu because I don't want to change it.
System default. Output device. Pop-up button. Option.
Now I'm going
Control.
Now I'm going to arrow
Control.
right.
Option. Help button. You are currently on a.
And we have a help button.
Control.
So not too many things in the sound category. That's it. We went through the whole category. So let's see what
Control.
our next
Option.
category is.
Help button. System output. Enable mute utility toolbar. Utility categories. Table. Sound. Selected. In utility categories. Table. Sound. Visuals. You are currently on a cell.
Now we've got visuals.
Control.
So I'm going to stop interacting.
Out of utility categories. Table.
And
Control.
I'm
Control.
going to vo arrow
Option.
right.
Control. Cursor. Selected. Tab. 1 of 3.
We've
You are
got
currently.
3 tabs here. Obviously, the
Control.
first one is selected by default. I'm going to let you hear the other 2 tabs, and then we're going to see what's in this cursor tab, okay?
Option. Panels and menus. Tab. 2 of 3. You are currently on.
Panels and menus.
Touch. Tab. 3.
Touch. So let's go and see
Control.
what's in this cursor menu.
Option. Show voiceover cursor. Checkbox.
Show voiceover cursor checkbox checked. Does it matter if you don't have this checked? Does it really? Is there a reason to uncheck it? I don't think so. Can I see it? No. Why do I have it checked? I don't know. Just because. Just because I want things to work properly. Just because maybe I want my husband to look at the screen and see where the voiceover cursor is. Okay? So I have it checked. Vo right.
Option. Voiceover cursor magnification.
Voiceover cursor magnification. Now, if you're totally blind, this part absolutely doesn't matter to you. If you're visually impaired and you zoom things on the Mac, or you use like contrast on the Mac, this, that, if you've got a little bit of vision, this might be beneficial to you. Okay, especially when you are pardon me, typing. Okay, so let's vo right.
Option. Control. 14. Voiceover cursor magnification. Slider. Set magnification.
So here's a slider
Control.
for the voiceover cursor. Right now, mine is saying that it's set to 14. So I'm going to interact with this slider.
In slider.
And I'm going to press vo arrow right.
Control. Option. 13. 12. 11. 10. 9. 8.
Okay. So I'm decreasing by pressing vo arrow left. The highest is 14, and that's what I have it set to. So I'm just going to take it back up by pressing vo arrow right.
Option. Control. 9. 10, 11, 14.
Okay, 14. So you would interact with your slider, and then with your vo and arrow right and arrow left, you would choose the size of the cursor. So I'm going to stop interacting with the slider,
Auto slider.
and I'm going to vo arrow right.
Option control. Small. You are currently on it. Large.
Okay. When you hear
Control.
on every slider in every menu, I guess this is more for sighted people, but it's also for us too. It's basically telling you that the smallest increment is on your left, you know, and then the largest increment is on your right. That's all it is. It's just telling you that small and large. The word small and the word large is probably positioned on either end of the slider when people are looking at it, so they can see that, okay, so if I go to 0, that's the smallest. If I go to 14, that's the largest. You know, it's pretty self-explanatory to me. I don't know why they need to do that, but I guess they just want to make sure that you get it. So let's vo arrow right.
Control option. When reading text, move voiceover cursor by. You are currently on.
When reading text, move
Control.
voiceover cursor by. Let's vo arrow right.
Option. Sentence. When reading text, move voiceover cursor by. Pop-up button. You are currently on a pop-up button to display.
I have it selected to sentence,
Option.
and
Control.
it's a pop-up button. So let's vo space on that.
Option. Menu check mark. Sentence. You check mark. Sentence. Word. Word. You are currently on a menu item.
Okay. So when reading, it's asking you, do you want the cursor to move by word or by sentence? It's, again, when you start reading on the Mac and figure out how the cursors work, you're going to choose your preference. I have it set to sentence. So the reason I have it set to sentence is because most of the time, I'm either going to use the command for reading everything on the page, or I'm going to go line by line. So that helps with the cursor moving sentence by sentence. Now, if I want to go through a sentence because I want to copy a word, or because I can't understand what VoiceOver is saying and I want that word spelled out to me, I'd rather use the commands, manual commands, to go word by word. Okay, so that's why I have it set to sentence. It's up to you. Again, most of these things are preference things. So I'm going to escape out of here because I don't want to change my preference, which is sentence.
Sentence. When reading text, move voiceover cursor by. Pop-up button. You are currently on a pop-up button. To display a list of options, press Control, Option, Space.
Okay, we're going to vo arrow right.
Option, Control, Help button. Help button.
And what's here? A help button. So we're done this tab already. So let's go to the next tab. So we're going to go all the way to the top again.
Utility categories, table, cursor, selected, tab, panels and menus, tab, 2 of 3. You are select tab, panels and menu.
Okay, so I found the next tab,
Control.
which is panels and menus, and I clicked vo space. And pardon me. So now that's selected. Let's we're going to vo arrow right. We're going to pass the next tab, which is the third tab. We've selected the second tab to see what's in here.
Option, Control, Touch, tab, 3, show caption panel, uncheck, checkbox.
Okay. If you are blind, then you don't need this. Show caption panel. This means that if you check this at the bottom of the screen, whatever VoiceOver says, it'll also have a little, or a box at the bottom of the screen that displays the text that VoiceOver is speaking. And there might be, there might be somebody who is hard of hearing and has enough vision to look at the screen, but wants to see what VoiceOver is saying. Okay, so that's, the caption box. It's for people who can't hear.
Control. Option. Show Braille panel. You are currently on a text element. Automatic. Show Braille panel. Pop up.
Show Braille panel. Show Braille panel automatic. Let's go in here.
Menu check mark. Automatic. Check mark. Automatic. On. Off. You are currently on a menu item. To choose off.
So we have 3 options here: on, off, and automatic. I guess this is set to automatic by default. I don't use any sort of Braille products whatsoever. So this benefits me in no way. For Braille users, whether it's Braille software or Braille displays or whatever the case may be, you might want this set to on or automatic. I'm assuming if I was a Braille user, I'd want it set to on. Okay, so that's pretty self-explanatory, I think. So we'll escape out of here.
Automatic. Show Braille panel. Pop up.
We're going to Vo arrow right.
Font size for panels and menus. You are currently on a text.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Control.
How large do you want the font in your panels and menus?
Option. 200-point font. Font size for panels and menus. Slider.
Again, mine is set to 200. And you have a slider here. So let's interact with the slider.
In slider.
And what are we going to do? Just like every other slider, we're going to Vo arrow right or left. Left will decrease. Right will increase.
Option. Control. 170-point font.
Okay. So from 200, I took it to 170.
200-point font.
When I Vo arrow right, it goes back to 200. And that's the highest you can have it at. So I'm going to stop interacting with that.
On off slider.
And again, pardon me. This depends on if you have usable vision. Do you want the print to be really large on your menus and whatever because you have a little bit of vision and you want to be able to maybe with your eyes by nature, if you've got usable vision, even if you are using VoiceOver, your eyes will scan the screen. Just because that's how our eyes work. And if you've got enough usable vision, maybe you want your text to be large because, you want to be able to see what you're doing as well as hear it. Or maybe you want to be able to see the text on the screen if you're typing something or whatever. Okay, so let's Vo arrow right.
Control. Small. Large.
There's the small, large labels again.
Option. Control. Help button.
And we're at the help button. So that's all there is in this tab. So we're going to go up to the 3rd and final tab in this category.
Option. Large. Touch. Tab. 3 of 3. Tab selected.
Okay, press the Vo space on
Control.
touch. Now we're going to Vo arrow right.
Control. Background transparency. You are current 60%. Background.
Preference thing
Control.
again. Background transparency. Mine is set to 60%. I don't even know why it's set there. I don't give 2 candy canes about transparency. That's not for me. My vision. Yeah, again. Preference thing, depending on your vision, depending on your skills, set it to whatever you want.
Option. 0%. You are.
Okay, slider 0%.
Control.
I'm not going to interact with the slider. I already interacted twice throughout today's category, so you guys know how to do this.
Option. Control. 100%. Help button. Help button.
And we have a help button. That's all there is in this category. So let's go back to our category table.
Option. Control. 100%. 0%. 60%. Background trans. Touch. Selected. Tab. 3 panels and cursor. Tab. 1 of 3. Utility categories. Table. Visuals. Selected. You are in utility categories. Table. Visuals. Commanders.
Okay. So that was our visual category. Commanders is our next category. Let me see what
Option.
else.
Control. Braille. Activities. Braille. Commanders. Control.
Okay. So we've only got 3 categories left. One is commanders, one is Braille, and one is activities. I'm going to show you what's in commanders. So let me stop interacting. Let me make sure I'm on commanders.
Visuals. Commanders. We are
Okay.
currently on product utility categories. Table. Trackpad. Selected. Tab. 1 of 4.
Now we've got 4 tabs. One is trackpad.
Control. Numpad. Tab. Keyboard. Tab. Quick nav. Tab. 4.
Okay, we've got 4 tabs in here.
Control.
Trackpad is selected by default because we said that VoiceOver, I think in general, the Mac selects the first item by default. So let's bow arrow right.
Control. Enable trackpad commander. Check. Checkbox. Select to control.
Now,
Control.
I'm not going to talk too much about the trackpad because not all of you may have one. The trackpad on a laptop, which all laptops come with the trackpad because it's there for sighted people. It's how you move your mouse. But it's also, for VoiceOver users, it gives us the option to use our computer somewhat like we use our iPhone. And I will get into more detail when we do an episode on the trackpad itself. I have it set to on because obviously I have a trackpad. So I'm going to bow arrow right.
Option control. Automatically select items in lists and tables. Uncheck. Checkbox.
Again, a preference
Control.
thing. Automatically select items in,
Control.
what did it say? Lists and
Automatically select items in lists and tables. Uncheck. Checkbox.
lists and tables. I don't want it to automatically select, so I have this unchecked.
Option. Pause speech when not touching the trackpad. Uncheck. Checkbox. Select to
Pause speech when
Control.
not touching the trackpad. Unchecked. You could check this. So you know how we use control to shut up, to make VoiceOver shut up? Even with JAWS, we press the control key to basically say, JAWS, shut up. VoiceOver, shut up. This is the same thing. It's a checkbox that when you're navigating with the trackpad, you've got your fingers on the trackpad and you're navigating. Do you want VoiceOver to shut up when you lift your finger? And again, preference thing. So let's bow arrow right.
Control. Scroll gesture moves content instead of scroll bar. Check. Checkbox. Select to have this.
I'll let you hear
Control.
that again.
Option. Scroll gesture moves content instead of scroll bar. Check. Checkbox. Select to have the scroll gesture move the scroll area instead of the scroll bar. You are currently on a checkbox. To select or deselect this checkbox.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Control.
Do you want the content to be scrolled or the scroll bar? I have it checked to content. I find it easier. You're going to have to play with that and see what works better. I think for blind people, this should be checked. Okay, let's bow arrow right.
Option. Assign commands button. Assign VoiceOver commands to trackpad gestures. You are currently on a button. To click this button.
Okay.
Control.
Assign commands to gestures. So for example, a 3-finger double tap will mute speech. So these are pre-assigned commands on the Mac that come with the Mac, but you can add some of your own. I'm not actually going to demonstrate this for you today because I want to save that when we solely deal with the trackpad. But this is a button, okay? So when we deal with the trackpad, we'll deal with that. So let's bow arrow right.
Option. Control. Help button.
And there's your help button, okay? So
Control.
forgive me for not getting in too much detail with the trackpad, but I've explained the reasons why. So let's go up again to the tabs. This was the first tab. Let's go up to the second tab.
Option. Enable quick nav. Tab. Keyboard. Numpad. Tab. 2 of 4.
Numpad tab.
Control. Option. Selected. Numpad. Tab.
So I selected it. Now,
Control.
let's bow arrow right.
Option. Keyboard. Quick nav. Enable numpad commander. Check. Checkbox.
Enable numpad commander. Checkbox, check. Now, your numpad is when you have a full-size keyboard. On the right side of your keyboard, you have the number pad. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the 0 key is like your modifier key in JAWS, it's your insert key, or even in NVDA, it's the 0 key, for example. Okay, so there are laptops, though, that do not come with a full-size keyboard, and even keyboards that don't come with a full-size keyboard. And there's other options there in how to use the numpad commander if you don't have a numpad. I think there is a way through the function keys. But right now, I have a full-size keyboard, so I have this on, okay? So let's Vo arrow right.
Option, Control, no modifier, modifier key, pop-up button.
No modifier key. So when I'm using the numpad commander, do I want...
Option, menu check mark, no modifier, command. You are currently on a med control. Shift, numpad 0, numpad 0.
So there you go. It gives me the numpad 0, just like JAWS, if I want to use that as my modifier key to do certain things with the numpad commander. Right now, I have it set to nothing. So I'm going to escape.
No modifier.
Again, I may do
Control.
an episode just on the numpad commander so I can show you how things work. And we'll talk about it at that point more. So let's Vo arrow right.
Option, Control, numpad commander, table. You are current help button, numpad commander.
So now we have a numpad
Control.
commander table. So I'm going to interact with the table.
In numpad commander, table, row 1 of 17, numpad key, 1, command item chooser, menu button selected, numpad key, 1. You are currently on a text field, inside of a table, option, control, numpad key, 2. You are currently on a text field, inside of a table, to navigate the cells with command move down, menu button. Numpad key, 1. Command item chooser, menu button.
Yeah.
You are, numpad key, 1.
So the first column gives you the numpad numbers and symbols. You know, there's 20 items in here. And the second item gives you what this does. So for example,
control, option, 2, 3. You are currently on a text field, inside of a table, to navigate the cells within it, control, option, command menu button. You are currently on a
so command menu button. So
control,
number 3.
Option, numpad key, 4. Command menu button.
Sorry.
Numpad key, 4. Command move left, menu button.
So the numpad 4, it's telling you beside that if you use that, it moves left, right? So
control option, perform action for item, menu button, numpad key, 5. You are currently on the text.
So 5,
control.
Hitting 5 is like your Vo space. That's what it's telling you, perform action. So numpad 6.
6. You are currently on the
let's see what's assigned to number 6.
Control. Command move right, menu button. You
move right.
Control numpad key, 6, 7. You are currently on
numpad 7.
Control command stop interacting with item, menu button.
Stop interacting with items. So if you have your numpad commander on.
Clear, numpad key, 9.
Sorry.
You are currently on a text field, inside control, option, command move up, menu button.
Sorry guys,
hold
on.
Numpad key, 8. You are currently on a 7. You are currently on a text field, inside of a table. To navigate the cells within this table, control, option, command stop interacting with item, menu button.
Okay. So what just happened is I actually touched my trackpad by accident. So it threw me somewhere else, okay? So.
Out of numpad commander, table.
So because I have numpad commander on, 7, just hitting my numpad number 7 stops interacting. So remember, I told you guys so many times, there are so many ways of doing things on the Mac. So here's a third way of interacting. The first way we said is Command, Option, Shift, down arrow. That's the default way. That's the way VoiceOver teaches you. But then if you have a trackpad, all you got to do is swipe your two fingers to the right, like you do on the iPhone, but not with one finger, with two fingers, and you're interacting. Well, here's another way. If you have numpad commander on and you hit 7, it stops interacting. Okay, so
In numpad commander, table, row 7 of 17, numpad option control, move up, menu button,
whoops.
numpad key, 8. You are 9. You are currently on a text.
What do you guys think 9 is? If
Control.
7 was what could 9 be?
Control option. Command start interacting with item. Menu button.
There you go.
You are currently on a menu
So,
button. Inside
I'm
of the
gonna
table. To
purposely
choose this
press
menu item,
7.
press Control option. Out of numpad commander.
She said out of numpad
Control.
commander, but if I press the letter 9,
In numpad commander, table, row 9 of 17, numpad key, 9. Commands.
sorry, I said the letter
Control.
9. It's the number 9. Pardon me. Sometimes we speak without thinking. So another very simple way to interact and stop interacting using your numpad keys. If somebody out there is learning the Mac and they have a keyboard that doesn't have the numpad keys, you're going to send me, then how are you going to do it? Let me know. I haven't, I know there's a way to do it, and I'm pretty sure it's got something to do with the function keys, with the FN key. But because I could be wrong, if somebody really wants to know how to do it without the numpad keys on the right side of the keyboard, I will more than be happy to investigate for you. So let's see what else is in here. Number 9 was interacting.
Option. Numpad key, 9. Clear. Control command go to dock. Menu button.
Okay.
You are currently
So,
on a menu.
your clear button
Control.
will take you to the dock. But guess what, guys? I don't remember which one is my clear. I'm drawing a blank. So I'm just going to press a whole bunch of keys. I'm pretty sure. Let me see.
Menu bar. Apple.
That wasn't it.
Window chooser menu 1 item.
That wasn't it.
Apple. You are currently on a menu bar item. To open this menu, press Control Option Space. Go to dock. Menu button. You are currently on a menu button inside of a table. To choose this menu item, press Control Option Space. Window chooser menu 1 item. Go to dock. Menu button. You are currently on a menu button inside desktop group. You are currently on a volume. VoiceOver help menu 5 items. Macintosh HD volume.
Don't you,
You are
love
menu.
it? Don't you guys love this?
Macintosh HD volume. Macintosh HD.
You know why I'm saying that? Because I'm trying
Control.
to figure out which is my clear button. Guess what?
0.
Whoops.
Item chooser menu 10 items.
Okay, that's not
Macintosh
it.
the Septuagint Bible in English. Important scans folder. Busy. Vertical splitter. You are currently on a vertical splitter. To start interacting with the vertical splitter. Dock. Google Chrome. Open. 21 of 30.
Guess
You are-
what? I found my clear button.
Control.
So I pressed it on the numpad. So by the way, if you're like me and you're forgetful where your keys are, the clear button is above your 7 key. So your number 7 key on your numpad is your clear key. So if you press that, it takes you to the dock. Now I want to get back to my VoiceOver utility.
Command. Find VoiceOver utility. VoiceOver utility. Window. Go to dock. Menu button. You are
Okay.
currently on option. Control. Numpad key. Clear.
So my clear takes me to the dock.
Option. Control. Equal. You
My
are currently on a
equal,
text field. Command go to menu bar. Menu button.
my equal takes me to the menu.
Control numpad key. Equal. Slash. You are
Where does my slash take me?
command open window chooser. Menu button.
Open window chooser.
Numpad key. Slash. Asterisk. You are currently command go to desktop. Menu.
My asterisk
Control.
takes me to the desktop. So if you were to learn these keys, you know where your 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are. We just said that our clear key is on top of our 7. If you learn where your slash, your equal, your asterisk, and so on and so forth, all you have to do is press one key. You don't even have to press Vo D to go to the dock or Vo Shift D to go to the desktop. You just press on your numpad commander, you press the corresponding key and boom, like a flash, you're there. So let's see what else is in here.
Option Control. Open VoiceOver Help menu. Menu button. Numpad key. Hyphen.
So your hyphen opens up your help menu.
Control. Option plus. You
What
are
is
currently
your,
on
let's see what your plus does.
Control Command Open Shortcut menu. Menu button.
Open shortcut menu.
Numpad key. Plus. Enter. You are
Let's see what the enter does. We all
Control.
know where the, at least I know where the enter is. It's the last key on my keyboard.
Control. Option. Command menu button. You are currently.
So it gives me
Control.
menu button. So let me see. But not in the VoiceOver utility. Okay.
Option. Control. Numpad key. Enter. Dot. You are Command Escape. Menu button. You are currently on a menu button. Inside of numpad key. Dot.
So the dot is escape.
Control. Dot.
And that's
You
it. So these are the
Control.
pre-assigned numpad commanders, and it can make your life much, much easier. So depending on the way your brain works, you may say, Zoe, you just helped me so much because I don't want to remember Vo Shift down arrow, Vo Shift up arrow, Vo Shift D, Vo D, Vo this, Vo M. I don't want to remember all these things. I can just press the letter 1 or the star or the equal sign, but not on your number row, on your numpad, which we said is the keypad that's all the way to the right on your keyboard. And you can, if you memorize those, whatever they are, 10, 11, 12, 13 keys, then you can get around your Mac with one single touch of a key. So I'm going to stop interacting with this.
Numpad commander. Table. Control. No modifier. Numpad help button. Help button. No modifier. Modifier key. Pop up button.
Now remember,
Control.
now I just want to, I have it set to no modifier because the reason I do is because if you choose a modifier here, well, anyways, like I said, we'll do an episode on maybe the numpad commander, and I'll explain things in more detail. We'll even set up some new commands, and then I'll explain things a little bit further. But of course, you can always go here and learn the pre-assigned commands to make your life easier when navigating desktop, dock, menu, and so on and so forth. Interacting and stopping interacting, which I'm just going to mention this again. Interacting seems to be the biggest learning curve for people coming from Windows. And up until now, Learning Together, episode 10, the VoiceOver utility part 4, we now have 3 options for interacting. So, as I said way back when we started the series, the Mac VoiceOver gives you many, many, many options. So let's go back up to the top.
Control. Innate quick keyboard. Tab. Numpad. Selected. Tab. Keyboard. Tab. Select tab keyboard.
Our next category is keyboard. So let's go there.
Option. Quick nav. Tab. Enable keyboard commander. Check. Checkbox. You are currently on a checkbox. To select or
Enable keyboard commander.
Control.
Checkbox checked. Yes.
Control. Use. Right option key. Use pop-up button. You are currently on a pop-up button.
Use right
Control.
option key. Here's what's in this menu.
Option. Menu check mark. Right option key. Left option key. You are currently on a menu item. Both option keys. Both option key. Left option. Check mark. Right option key. Check mark. Right option key.
Now, you don't want to use your left option key, and I'm going to tell you right now why, because then you're going to get confused. The left option key is part of your Vo keys, Control Option. So if by accident you hit Option and you're not holding down Control correctly to navigate with VoiceOver, you may hit something else. Another reason is, for example, Option Shift down arrow your left option key, shift, down arrow, will copy a line of text. So I don't want the two option keys getting confused in what they're doing. So I have it set to right option key. Okay.
Control, right option key, use pop-up button, option, keyboard commander, table.
And
You are
here
add button, keyboard commander, table.
we have a table. And just like the numpad commander, you can add things. For example, you would look in here, see what's being used. And let's, for example, say that your right option key plus the letter A. Let's say that's not being used. You could assign that so that when you hit option A, App Store opens up. So the numpad commander and the keyboard commander are basically like you're setting up preferences, shortcuts, I would call them, for things you want to get to quickly on the Mac or things you want to do on the Mac to make your life easier. Don't quote me on this because I'm not going to do it for you today. Well, let's see. Hold on. Let me go in here.
Control in keyboard commander, table, row 1 of 5, keyboard key, M. Mike, keyboard key, S.
Okay.
Sierra,
So
M.
the first row
Control,
is either letters or symbols. And if you vote, so I'm on the first, sorry, not the first row, the first column is letters or symbols. And the second column is obviously
option, command open application, mail, menu button. You are currently,
it tells you here
control,
that if you press
keyboard key, M, command open application, mail, menu button. You are currently on a menu button inside of a table.
you can open mail. So,
control,
for example, hold on.
menu, general, submenu, information, submenu, navigation, submenu, text, submenu, web, submenu, find, submenu, tables, submenu, size and position, submenu, table, font, web, text, navigation, information, general, submenu.
Okay.
You are currently on a menu item. To choose this menu item, press open application, mail,
Now, there's
Control.
a whole bunch of things in that menu. It would take us forever to go through these items so I can actually show you guys what all this means. So I will do an episode just on keyboard commander, just like I probably will do one on numpad commander. Let me
control, keyboard key, S.
Okay,
Sierra.
let's see S.
You command open application, Safari, menu button.
Okay, so if I press, no, I don't want to do Safari. Hold
Control.
on a sec.
Run Apple script, time of day, menu button. You are keyboard key, U. Uniform.
Okay.
You are currently on a text field
Let's check
inside of a
something.
table. To enter text in this field, type. To navigate the cells within this table, press Control, Option, and then up arrow, down arrow, left arrow, or right arrow. To exit this table, press Control, Option, Shift, up arrow.
Okay, let's check something. Ready? Hold on.
Option. Command, U. Control,
Hold on.
Option, U. Mail is launched in the background. Control, Option,
I by accident did something. Hold on.
U. 104 unread messages.
Yeah, hold on a sec.
Command. Finder. Important scans. Window. Voiceover utility. Voiceover utility. Window. Word. U. Option. Control. You are current.
Hold on a sec, guys.
Option. Shift. Auto edit text. You are currently on a menu button inside of a table. Keyboard key. T. Tango. In edit text. T. Shift. Auto edit text. U. Unif. X. Command run Apple script. Unread message count. Menu button. You are currently on a menu button. Keyboard key. X. X-ray. Command run Apple script. Time of keyboard key. U. Uniform. Command run Apple script. Time of day. Menu button. You are current keyboard key. T. Tango. Command run Apple script. Time of day. Menu button.
Sorry. Okay.
You are currently on a menu button inside of a table. To choose this menu item, press Control, Option, Space. Command. Finder. Important scans. Window. Voiceover utility. Google Chrome. Mail. You are currently on a table. To end quick mail.
Sorry, I opened up mail by accident.
Voiceover utility. Voiceover Finder. Important scans. Window.
Okay, now listen.
Control. Command. Tab bar. One tab. Tab group. You are currently on a tab group.
Sorry.
Option. December 15th. 2:37 p.m. Control.
So.
Command. Voiceover utility. Voiceover utility. Window. Run.
So when I want to
Control.
hear the time of day and date, I by accident pressed command. That's why I opened up other things. So I've chosen my, let's call it I don't know, what does VoiceOver call it? Modifier key? It doesn't
Keyboard
call
commander.
it a
Table. Right option key. Use. Enable keyboard commander. Checkbox. Use. Right option key.
Okay.
Use. Pop-up button. Control.
It doesn't actually name the key somehow, but let's call it a modifier key. So if I press not my left option key, but my right option key. So let's see what happens if I press the left option key. So left option. And the letter T. And it goes ding. So option T, if I use my left option key, does absolutely diddly squat. Nothing. Nil. And you heard a ding. That tells me, we're going back to the sound effects. That tells me I've either pressed the wrong key or this key just does absolutely nothing. VoiceOver is going ding, basically saying, you're out, you lose, that's wrong. But if I press my right option key plus the letter T.
Option, December 15th, 2:38 p.m.
It's telling me it's December 15th, 2:38 p.m. Now you know when I tape this. What is it with JAWS? I can't remember now. Insert F11 gives us the time. Same thing here. Option T. T for time. Okay? So the keyboard commander is really...
Command. Finder. Important. VoiceOver utility. VoiceOver utility. Window. Keyboard commander. Table. Row 3 of 5. Keyboard. In keyboard commander. Table. Row 3 of 5. Keyboard.
The keyboard commander is very handy because...
Tango. Command run Apple script. Time of day. Run Apple script. Unread message count. Menu button.
So there you go. Your unread message count in your mail app. There's a command for it.
Control keyboard key. X.
Right?
X. Command run Apple script.
So option X would tell
Control.
me, you know, my unread message count.
Option. Control. Run Apple script. VoiceOver screenshot to mail. Menu button. You are currently on a menu button. Option. Control. Run Apple script. VoiceOver script.
So that's all that's in
Control.
here.
Option.
I'll
Control.
just do it again.
Run Apple script. Unread message count. Menu button. Run Apple script. Time of day. Menu button. Open application. Safari. Menu button. Open application. Mail. Menu button. Open application. Mail.
So right now my keyboard commander
Control.
has Safari, mail, unread messages, VoiceOver screenshot to mail, and time of day. If I stop interacting,
Auto keyboard commander. Table. Control add button.
there's an add button where I could probably
Control.
do option A to open up the App Store. For example, I'm giving you an example. When I deal with an episode just on this, I will do it for you and you'll see exactly how it's done.
Control. Remove button. Delete.
There's a remove button because maybe you
Control.
changed your mind and you don't want to use, I don't know, option A for App Store.
Help button.
And there's a
You are
help
currently
button.
on a button. To click this.
So that's your keyboard commander.
Control.
Let's go back up to the top.
Remove add. Right option key. Use. Enable key. Quick nav. Tab. Keyboard. Selected. Tab. Quick nav. Tab. Select tab. Quick nav.
And our last tab, and this will be the last item for today, is our quick nav. Did I select it? I don't even remember. So I will vo arrow left and vo arrow right so I can hear if she says selected.
Keyboard. Tab. 3. Quick nav. Selected. Tab. 4 of 4.
Okay. She said selected. So I'm going to
Control.
vo arrow
Option.
right.
Enable quick nav. Checkbox. You are currently on a
Do you want this enabled?
Control.
Yes. Quick nav can confuse you because you don't know what application is going to work better with it on or with it off. So the shortcut to turn you, so I have it set, I have this box checked, which if I don't, I'm sorry. Try to find a way to explain this to you guys. If I have this box unchecked, then I can't toggle quick nav on and off. If I have it checked, then I can toggle quick nav on and off. Does that make sense? It should. So if I vote arrow right.
Control. Allow toggling of quick nav using left and right arrow keys. Checkbox.
Okay.
You are currently.
So that's the shortcut
Control.
for toggling quick nav on and off. The left and the right arrow keys. So if you press these two keys together,
quick nav off. Quick nav on.
If you press them together at the same time, just press them down, let go. She'll say quick nav on or quick nav off. Okay, so I'll just do it one more time.
Quick nav off.
Okay, and obviously this box is checked so that you can use that shortcut.
Control. Enable single key web pitch navigation when using quick nav. Checkbox.
When using quick nav, enable single key navigation like web pages. Absolutely. So you can turn on quick nav and then press H for headings, for example.
Control. Allow toggling of quick. Enable single key web pitch navigation when using quick nav. Checkbox.
I have it checked because I like using my single key navigation, just like in JAWS. I press H for headings. Okay, so pretty self-explanatory. Let's keep going.
Option. Control. Assign commands button. Assign voiceover commands for use when quick nav is enabled. You are currently on a
Pretty self-explanatory again.
Control.
When I demonstrate, let's say, the differences with quick nav, at that point, we'll come back in here and maybe assign a voiceover command when quick nav is on. I'm not going to do it right now, okay?
Control help button.
And your help
You are
button.
currently on.
So
Assign commands button.
again, so assigning.
Control.
Sorry, I'm just going to let you hear that
Control.
again. Hold on.
Help. Assign commands button. Enable single key web pitch navigation when using quick nav. Checkbox. You are currently on a checkbox. To select or deselect this checkbox, press Control Option Space. Assign commands button. Assign voiceover commands for use when quick nav is enabled. You are currently on a button. To click this button, press Control Option Space.
It's pretty self-explanatory, but you get the idea. There's a lot of, in today's voiceover utility part 4, we're seeing a lot of things you can set up according to your preferences. So if there's something, if you like navigating with quick nav on, but voiceover doesn't do something you want because it's on, it's possible to set a key for it. That's what that is. And when we deal with quick nav at a later time, I will assign something so you guys can see how it's done and how it works. Okay, so
Control. Enable quick nav. So keyboard. Numpad. Tab. 2 of 4. Trackpad. Tab. Utility categories. Table. In utility categories. Table. Commanders. Selected. Commanders. Braille. Activities.
You know what? I'm not sure how long I've been talking to you guys, but there's only 2 categories left, and the activities should be an episode by itself. So I think that I'm quickly going to go through Braille and activities because that will end.
Control. Braille. You are currently on a utility.
That will end the voiceover
Control.
utility, the introduction of it all. I understand that you're going to say to us, Well, why didn't you go into detail about keyboard commanders or numpad commanders or activities? Because I think that those things should be a lesson in themselves. And we will do that. But right now we're trying to set up preferences. I think sometimes those things are when you get comfortable with navigating the Mac and learning certain daily voiceover commands, then you should dabble in adding commands. I don't think you should add them right off the bat because you've already got a lot to think about. You've already got to get used to how things navigate differently, the fact that keyboard commands are different than JAWS. You've got a lot of things to think about. So let's not just add things quite just yet. Let's see what's in the Braille tab.
Control, layout, selected, tab, 1 of status, tab, displays, tab, language. Your current displays, tab, 3 of 3. Layout, selected.
Now, Braille,
Control.
I'm not a Braille user, but you see that there's 3 tabs in here. Layout,
option.
status,
tab, displays, tab, 3 of 3.
and displays.
Layout, selected, tab,
So
1 of 3.
layout is
You are currently on a
selected.
tab,
Let's see
1 of
what's in
3.
here.
Displays, language. English, language, pop-up button, control.
Pretty self-explanatory whether you're a Braille user or not. Do you speak English? Do you speak Spanish? What are you doing, right? If your English sucks, you're going to switch the language from, whatever. Pretty self-explanatory. Even if I was a Braille user, my Braille would be in English, right? So let's move on.
Option, table. You are currently on a text element. System, English, unified, table, pop-up button. Mode. You are 8 dot, mode, pop-up button.
Okay.
Mode, system, English, unified, table. You are currently
So we have a table here.
in text, table.
And it tells
Other
us
text.
that
You are currently on
table.
a system, English,
So table is set to
table, pop-up button,
English.
control, mode. You are
Mode
currently on a
is
text
set
element, 8
to
dot, mode,
8
pop-up.
dot. Now, those of you
Control.
who are Braille users, you know what that means. I don't. 6 dots, 8 dots. Let me press
Option,
the.
press menu check
See?
mark, 8 check mark, 8 dot, contracted 6 dot, 6 dot, 6 dot.
Yeah. So I was correct. I do remember 6 dots. So you have your choices: 6 dot, contracted 6 dot, or 8 dot. This is set by default to 8 dot. I'm not even going to touch anything in here because I'm not a Braille user. But here's your options for Braille. Okay. So I'm going to escape out of this.
8 dot, mode, pop-up button. Use automatic Braille translation, unchecked. 8 dot, mode, use automatic Braille translation, unchecked. Checkbox. You are currently on a check.
If you want translation, obviously, you would check this. If you don't, you would leave this unchecked.
Option, show multiple items, checkbox. You are currently on a checkbox.
Show multiple items. Do you want
Control.
that? Then you check it.
Control, use dot 7 and 8 to indicate voiceover cursor, checkbox. You are,
Now, this has to do with
control,
those who use Braille. She's telling you, do you want voiceover cursor to be used by, dot 7 and 8? You guys know how you use Braille. You know how you use your, the various functions, the dots, whatever. You guys know. I can't tell you what the right preference is here because I'm not a Braille user. But I'm just showing you what's in here, okay? So let's move on.
control, use word wrap, checkbox. You are
Use
currently
word
on a
wrap.
checkbox. Show alert messages for duration, checkbox. Control. You are
Use
show alert messages for duration.
show alert messages
Control.
for duration.
Control, 40%. Show alert messages for duration, slider.
So I guess here it's asking you, how long do you want a notification, an alert? How long do you want it to show up for? Right? You guys know better than I do how you use your Braille, how long it takes you to read things, or whatever the case may be. Okay, so here it's saying 40%.
Control,
And
option.
it's a slider. You would interact with it and you would change it.
Short, long, help button.
And a help button. So I'm sorry that I'm not much help here because
Control,
I'm not
option.
a Braille user.
Long, use automatic 8 dot, mode, system, table, English, language, displays, tab, status, tab, 2.
So that was your layout. In
Control.
status,
Task selected. Status. Displays. Tab. 3 of 3. Show general display status. Check. Checkbox. You are currently on a checkbox.
Show
To select or deselect this
display
checkbox, press Control.
status.
Option. Show text style. Uncheck. Checkbox.
show text
Control.
style,
Show extended text style. Uncheck.
show extended text
Control.
style.
Option. Braille display. Control. No display detected. Braille dis.
So there you go. Braille
Control.
display, no Braille display detected. If I did have a Braille display, it would say, what is it, Mantis Q? I forget because I'm not a Braille user, please forgive me, but what is it, Mantis Q40 or something like that? It would show it up here.
Control option. Show status on the left. Show status on the dim selected radio button. 1 of 2. Right. Show status on the dim radio button.
So obviously, do you want to show status on the
Control.
left or on the right?
Option.
You choose
Control.
your option.
Help button.
And a help button.
Option. Left shows no Braille. Show text. Show general displays. Tab. 3 of 3. Select tab display.
And the final tab in here is displays. Again, I can't really recommend any preferences here because I'm not a display user. I should actually, Victor Marquez does, he did, but I think he did it for Windows though, but I don't know if it would help. Go and watch Victor Marquez's show on Tuesdays on Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway, where he demonstrates the a Braille display and he really goes into detail, and his voice is very, very nice and soothing, and he doesn't lose his train of thought like I do, and he's very explanatory and helpful, and you could get some ideas. Does Victor know how to, does Mr. Marquez know how to use a Braille display on the Mac? I'm not sure. I mean, he knows how to use a Braille display, but has he ever used one on the Mac? I don't know. And I apologize to him because I've never listened to his episodes because, like I said, I'm not a Braille user. But he's a really cool guy, very knowledgeable. And if you think that might help you, go to Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway, and go into videos or playlists, and you will find, I think it's called Accessible Life. Sorry to Victor Marquez and sorry to Victor Gouveia. I can't remember the name of the show, but I think it's called Accessible Life. Or Accessible Living. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. Please forgive me. I don't remember, but that's something you could check out, okay? So the last one is displays, and I'm going to vow arrow right.
Braille displays. Empty. Table. View. No display detected. Attach a USB Braille display or click add to set up a Bluetooth Braille display. Add button. Remove. Dim. Allow input from. Primary Braille display. Allow input from. Pop-up button. Help button. Help button.
Okay. So pretty self-explanatory here, guys. I went through it quickly, but if you were listening, displays, it's telling me there's a table and it's saying no empty table because I don't have one connected. And then it's giving you an option. Do you want to connect one by Bluetooth? Do you want to connect one by USB? There's an add button. There's a remove button. Maybe you have more than one Braille display. Maybe yours broke and you're going to set up a new one. Maybe you're trying a different type. This is where you would set things up. Okay, so that's it for the Braille category.
No Braille displays. Empty. Table. Display. Status. Tab. Layout. Utility categories. Table. Braille. Activities. Shift. On up utility.
And our last category finally is activities. And I'm going to vow arrow right.
Control. Set up activities to customize VoiceOver for specific uses.
Okay.
You are currently.
Set up activities.
Control.
Listen to that again.
Option. Control. Utility. Set up activities to customize VoiceOver for specific uses. You are currently.
You want to customize VoiceOver
Control.
for specific uses.
Option. Activities. Empty. Table.
I don't have anything set up, but I
Control.
will set up something with you. For example, you can probably set up an activity to, I don't know, switch languages or something. Right now, I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but my table is empty because I don't have anything set up yet. but I'm going to. You're going to say to me, you've had the Mac for 10, 13 years. Not 13 years. That's a lie. I've had my Mac for 8 years, but I didn't really use it. I used it for the first 6 months, then I didn't use it for 4 years, and then I started to use it, and then I got sick, or 3, I don't know. I didn't use it for 2, 3 years, and then I got sick, and I stopped using it, and then I started using it again. So unfortunately, actually, this iMac is pretty new, even though it doesn't take updates, because I've hardly used it. I hardly used it. I have used it to death in the last year. And that was enough for me to get really comfortable with it and actually feel confident enough to show you guys how to use it. If I voiceover right,
Option. Click Add Activity button to create an activity.
there you go.
You are-
Click add
Control.
activity button.
Control Option. Add Activity button. Remove Activity dimmed button. Configure Activity dimmed button. Help button. Help button.
Okay, so you've got add activity, remove activity, and configure activity. Obviously, add, we're going to set up a new activity. Obviously, remove, we don't like that activity, or we don't use it, or it was foolish, or it was stupid, or I don't like it. I want to remove it altogether, or I like it, but I want to change something. And then that's where you would configure. And that's it for our voiceover utility. And that obviously, that's it for our episode today. So you have to understand there are some things that I'm gonna, sorry, hold on a sec. Okay, sorry guys. I just stopped sharing my screen. So obviously there's some things I didn't get into a lot of detail. And the only reason, like I said, is because they probably need an episode in themselves. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. And, love you guys. If you need to reach me, you know how. And I will learn some more and come back next week, and then we will learn together. Love you guys. See you later.
Catch Learning Together with Zoe Fiogkos on Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner every Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.